Hello, hello, and welcome everybody to invite you back to episode three of season three of Life Change Transformation. And I'm here with the amazing Gary Benoit, as always, joining us from Calgary in Alberta. Gary is a retired police officer. He's an author, a speaker, licensed in the financial industry, and an amazing sharer of how to navigate everything that life can throw at you, the good times and the bad. My own name is Maeve Langford. I'm a transformational coach here in Ireland, and this is our work in the world, Gary,
hmm
isn't it?
hmm
Bringing the tools of transformation to all of you who are in that place where you've decided you want to make some changes in your life. And today we're talking all about the topic of faith. So faith, for some people that might sound triggering today, in terms of like, oh, is this about religion or, is it about a particular faith system? And I think really the way we're going to approach it is that it's broader. It includes those things for sure, but it's broader. But we bring it up, and I was thinking about this before we came on the call today. And Napoleon Hill, actually, in his book Think and Grow Rich, he talks about how faith is absolutely essential in creating transformation and creating change because you rarely start with evidence. Right. So we have to have faith, right? We have to
hmm
trust that we can move in the direction of what it is we want. And of course, many of us were brought up in a kind of environment that was, when I see it, I'll believe it. But everything we know about transformation is that you get to see it when you believe it.
hmm Get the belief first, and
So
then you gotta then you see it. You
exactly,
know,
exactly.
um, it's yeah. Faith is. I'm gonna for me and for what when I reference it, I will reference God here in this podcast. Okay, if it doesn't resonate with you, if you're one of those people that doesn't sort of sit with you, that's okay. Replace that with whatever that feels good for you. If it's the universe, if it's Mother Nature, if it's whatever spirit. Because we're gonna talk about connection. We're gonna talk about um, some of the things that really help us move through the hard times, I think. And you talk about Napoleon Hill. I just listened to the audiobook of Outwitting the Devil
Oh
uh,
yeah, by Hill as well.
by Hill in his manuscript, and man, there was so many good little things inside of that I just thought was fantastic. So, for a recommendation, if you feel invited, if you feel like you want to have a good listen or a good read, that's a really good one if that's something you're looking to explore. But for
Yeah.
today, we may reference some of that stuff, but ultimately we're looking at the connection to your vision and the belief in the path that you're on. And
Okay.
that comes down to faith, right? The faith around that part of it, right? Because we're all here for a specific reason. I think you've tuned into this and you've followed us along for a specific reason, and I don't think it's by mistake. I think that there's intuitively you're being guided in your journey. And so
Yeah.
when we consider faith, the idea of belief in what you have, because if you have faith, the belief just comes. You know what I'm saying? You just have that faith that it's going to happen. Um, for you, Maeve, like when you consider faith, you consider what that overall, like, if you look at it from a little bit of a broader view, what does that really mean in your life and how you show up today in the world these days?
Yeah, well, I'm going to speak to two aspects of that, Gary, because one of the things that really helped me, I mean, as many of you listening know, I was born and raised Catholic. Um, and if you asked me, do I believe in a God, I would say yes, but I think of it more as spirit, universe, kind of life force energy. But equally, because of my tradition, if you ask me what does God look like for you, and again, I think it's energy, right? But I would have a kind of a relationship with that kind of father figure of a God that most Christians would identify with. Um, but what helped me with the topic of faith, well, and this might have come from Napoleon Hill as well, I don't remember, but somebody or someplace I read that people said you always have faith in something. You either have faith in the problems and and the challenges, and because you're giving them your attention, and so you're obviously believing this is something that you need to worry about, or take action on. Or you can have faith in your vision and who I'm becoming, and this is why we talk so much about vision. It's a great antidote to attention on the problems. But ultimately, faith, as I now understand it, is it's like it's a discipline of attention. It's where am I putting my attention? I'm putting my attention and my faith on the thing I want, and where I'm moving towards, and who I'm becoming, or I'm putting my attention on um problems, challenges, obstacles. And we all have them, right? It's like it's not that when you have faith those things disappear. They're still there. You just don't give them the same energy or weight as you do when you don't have faith in something else.
Correct.
So that's that. So faith is one way of understanding it, is the thing I'm giving my attention to is the thing that I'm placing my faith in.
Correct.
And the phrase I use with my clients and in my work is that, and it comes from Rumi, actually, the Persian poet, I think 12th or 13th century. But in one of his poems, he says, "You and I, we're sons and daughters of life itself, and that we are greater than the sun."
Hmm.
And if you ask me, what would do I believe that all the time? Do I have faith in that all the time? Not absolutely. I get overwhelmed with my conditions and circumstances too sometimes. But if you were to ask me, what do I want to have faith in? It's that
Hmm.
I am absolutely a child of the universe, that I have that creative power, the same creative power that created the whole universe and all the galaxies within it created me,
Hmm.
and I have that creative capacity in me. That's if you ask me what do I want to believe in and have faith in, that's it
Hmm.
in a nutshell.
That's fantastic. There's something that came to my mind here that I'd like to just share is that I want to share a thought from Napoleon Hill because you mentioned energies and mentioned that stuff. So if you're like more a scientific person and you understand like the atoms and molecules and how things are designed, there's a positive and a negative side of each one of those, and they're equally balanced because if they're not equally balanced, the world wouldn't be the way it is, right? We wouldn't have gravity. We wouldn't have all the matter that we have. We wouldn't have any of the stuff that we have that in the world today without the positive and the negative, right? There's two
Mm.
different sides to that coin, right? They each balance each other.
Yeah.
And so the way that I come to understand it is because there's a bit of a scientific brain in my head as well as the unknown, right? I believe that we were all created in by a greater power. I believe we were all provided a mission and a goal um, on our hearts. At some point, it'll reveal itself when it's ready, when it's time. But ultimately, if you want to, the negative side is going to be the devil, and then the positive side is going to be God or that faith. And so like when they each have their powers, and then there's a great, so that's kind of that in my mind. I can see that as negative and positive energy, right? Both two sides of the coin. And there's also a Cherokee legend. Um, they talk about the good wolf and the bad wolf, and there's a
Mm.
constant battle going on inside of your mind, right? Because it's all comes from our thoughts. Everything comes from thoughts, right? Our thoughts and our belief comes from our thoughts and our where we put our attention. And it's the same kind of an idea is that you have one wolf that's looking to provide you with temptation and distraction and procrastination and negative self-talk and all that stuff, that disbelief in what you can do and all the things you can achieve. And then there's the other wolf that's like, no, you can, and they're providing you with belief and faith and love and hope and those energies that are there to continue to grow your existence. And it's an elder speaking to his grandchild, and he talks about this big great battle that's happening inside of your mind. And the young child asks, well, who's going to win?
Mm.
He goes, well, whichever one you decide to feed. And truthfully, that's what you just talked about. If you feed your vision, if you feed um your hope, your belief in something that you're driving towards, that you're going to become, and you just continue to just to take the steps that are available to you, you create that faith in what you're doing, and you feed the good wolf or the side that is going to win, the positive side, the positive
Yeah.
energies, right?
Yeah.
Not to say that we're not going to have challenges, because that's how, the temporary defeat that shows up, the moments of challenge, the distractions, the things that are going to happen in life. That's just that, because like there's still that battle, right? Just because you feed the side,
Yeah.
there's still that battle happening, and that negative side is going to creep in, and that's kind of the devil's way of like just derailing people and drifting people and changing their focus from what they're doing, because that's how he wins over. And in Hill's Outwitting the Devil, when he talks about it, the devil, he has like a physical interview where they have like a conversation in his mind,
Mm.
and the devil says he controls 98% of the people in the world, because he's seductive, and he slides in, and he's not this evil forked tongue kind of horn deviled kind of person. He's literally just energy, and he just slips in and just feeds that drift and feeds the procrastination, and feeds the fear, right? Fear is his
Yeah.
number one thing, right? So I think it's just such an interesting analogy when you consider it as energy, right?
Yeah.
And having belief and faith, having faith in the fact that you were given a mission, you were given a role, you were given a task to be here on earth, whatever that is. You'll know what that is inside your heart. If you know it was given to you by a greater power, then it's
Yeah.
the faith in your direction.
And again, I think, and this might be another topic, right? This whole idea that we have a purpose and we have a,
Hmm.
a role to play, and we'll discover it. I mean, I think we can make that really easy for ourselves. And I think our role is to be the best version of ourselves we can be,
Absolutely. Hmm.
right? And to give expression again. So if we think about it as consciousness or energy, life force energy, and it wants to express in an individuated way through you and I and each one of you listening today, that's our job, right? And to do the best version of that we can do. and
Hmm.
and I, again, for me, that took a lot of pressure off. I mean, I still say to my kids sometimes, like, I'm not sure what I want to be when I grow up, right? Because it could
Right.
change.
Right.
But if you asked me, Gary, like, from being a little kid, what did you want, or who did you want to be when you grow up? I would have said, I want to understand how the world works, and I want to help people. And over my career to date, that's been expressed in slightly different ways. And, as a HR
Hmm.
manager and a
Hmm.
trainer, and now I'm a coach and a facilitator. So the expression of it kind of changes, but that, being a light in the world, and being able to explain things, and help people, that's been a driving force. And I would say every single one of us has some sense of, I always wanted to do X.
Hmm.
How we do it changes as we grow, and we learn new skills, and we learn more about who we are and what we're capable of just through life, and navigating all of that. But we're all doing it,
Hmm.
right? And that's what I love about, again, a lot of what we talk about here, the longings and the discontents, those are like little kind of, what would you say, droplets of
Hmm.
information, more of this, less of that, and
Hmm.
it's like sometimes when you think about how it all works, it's like, man, it's ingenious, right?
Hmm.
I mean, I don't like when I'm in the dark times, but it is ingenious in terms of how it works. And if you want to take it to the fullest understanding of all that, like, how amazing am I and you that we created this?
Hmm.
Because we are it. We're the consciousness. We're the God, if you
Hmm.
want to. So I don't know. I love this. I love this topic, kind of, in
Hmm.
these conversations. And again, for those of you listening today, I don't know if you feel like this is a topic that resonates and is helpful, or if it's like, it's kind of a bit out there. But I would say, buckle up, because it's a great ride when you
Yeah.
when you start to open up to all of this. And we all have different language for expressing it, but where it's taking us to,
Yeah.
is amazing.
Like I said, I truly, truly believe that the path that, and all of the things, I look at my career, and I can go back, and once again, I can see. I can connect the dots going backwards, right? I can look backwards, I can connect the dots kind of
Yeah.
right. I can see that part of it. I
Yeah.
know that many would say that what I went through, no one should have to go through. Um, and I've had that comment to me given to me lots. Well, you should never have to go through that. I'm so sorry. And it's like, no, I can appreciate that you feel for me, and I thank them for that. However, without those experiences, I couldn't be sitting here today. I
Yeah.
couldn't be sitting here and having this conversation with Maeve Langford from Ireland today without those experiences.
Mm.
And to know that the path that I took, even though it was very rough at times and so rough at times where it was like total destruction of the family moment, like total implosion moment, right? Um, Even those times, I'm so grateful because I think gratitude, when you talk
Mm.
about strengthening faith, when you want to talk about like improving your faith ability, gratitude is where I started
Yeah.
because it's a really high energy for one, and two, you start to sort of see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And in and then as I grew and as I got more experience and more knowledge and kind of just more awareness around this stuff, because awareness does come as you grow with gratitude and learning, right?
Yes. Yes.
And as we learn that as the faith, and so then I really, and I just told, like I was taught just before we did this, I said to Maeve, I said, the path I'm on and what I've gone through in the last 6 months, like I said, there's been some ups and downs, some down times for sure. But I've just kind of given it to God. I've just kind of given it to God and said, look, I trust you. I trust that you're giving me this path for a reason. I don't know what the reasons are in this moment. I don't know what it was that I had to learn exactly, but I know it'll be revealed to me. I know that because you put me on this path, because I'm already in this journey, because I'm really leaning in to just connecting and just being of service to people, of service, with in my opinion, with God at the front of it, from that place, then I know that what I'm doing is correct. I know where I'm at is right. I know what I've got ahead of me is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And it's in it, and that comes with that comes at different stages too, right? In your life. Like you're going to have different stages in your life when you're going to be resistant to certain things and less open to certain things. And that, depending on where you're at, if you're listening to this, will determine how much that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
But just know, just be open to the idea that it could be you, that you could just let it all go to God and just let it like I'm saying, just be open to that. And you don't have to believe it in this moment, but just know
Mm.
that that's how you grow your faith over time. And it's taking me since 2010, 2011 to get here. It's
Mm.
2025, people. Like that's 15 years ago,
Mm. Yeah.
right? So
And I think as well, like I do think we all have a capacity for faith, but it definitely has to be developed. So, I mean, maybe we can speak to that a bit. And some of it, I think it's about that relationship with ourselves. Like if you and I and everybody listening, if you believed that you are God or you're an expression of God or consciousness or life, the universe, if you really believed that, your relationship with yourself, I think, would probably be a lot better than most of our relationships are with ourselves most of the time, where we're very self-critical, self-judgmental, berating. But if we were to treat ourselves as, divine, that would be different. So if you're listening to this today, even to take that away as an idea, if I really thought I was divine, how would I be treating myself? And then my relationship with spirit, right? If I really believed even how I spoke with spirit or God or the universe wouldn't be a kind of, pleading or bargaining or,
yes.
give me this and then I'll do that. It,
Hmm.
it would be more just like, and again, in the Christian Bible that I was brought up in, the language is ask and you receive, knock and the door is open, seek and you will find. And again, if I really believed that, I'd be just like, okay, like again, sometimes the example we give is, you order a cappuccino in your favorite coffee shop and you fully expect the cappuccino. And it's a
Correct.
bit like, I'm asking for this type of relationship or this type of health or this type of life experience or work experience. And I'm fully expecting it's coming because I
Hmm.
asked. Of course it's coming. That's how it works.
Hmm.
But I mean, Gary, from maybe I sound, convinced of all of this today, and I am in principle. I am convinced. I wouldn't be saying it if I weren't. But do I feel it 24/7? No, I don't. I mean, I'm just being honest, right? Like there's the days when, a contract falls through or, somebody gets sick or, something happens. One of my kids, one of our boys at the moment, his big thing was to be traveling in Europe and he's had to come home, right? He got an abscess in a tooth and he had to come home for medical and dental attention. What do you do in those moments? Except,
Hmm.
like you said, you trust.
Hmm.
This is how, for whatever reason, it is as it's meant to be.
Hmm.
And I was doing a call earlier with clients and we were talking about that faith or that belief that life is always for me,
Hmm.
that this is for me, that even in the crappy, crappy, crappy moments, those dark nights of the soul, to be able to say, like you gave a beautiful demonstration of, I trust, I don't understand it, but I trust that this is as it's meant to be, and I'll be able to join the dots backwards, like you were
Later.
saying and
Yeah.
reminding us of.
And I love the idea that you just talked about, something you said there. I just want to just highlight because I think it was brilliant, and I don't want people to miss it. You talked about how you communicate, how if you were to have a prayer or if you had a meditation and you ask for something, and how we are taught to pray really is kind of in that when things are down and things are no good, then we go to prayer.
Yeah,
Right? Typically
yeah,
speaking, right? That's
yeah,
how it is, right? And so what you said there is, you go to prayer when things and then now you're asking for like that miracle or that, oh, if only this, if only that, right? And you have that kind of desperation in your prayer. I think we need to sort of like have a bit of a different perspective on that. And I believe that it's more of that, yes, you just said that. Well, you say you ask and you shall receive, and and when you read certain passages in the Bible and different things, God wants you to have the abundance that you want, right? Whatever that abundance is, abundance of love, money, whatever that looks like for you, that He wants that life for you. Um, but the way we ask about asking for it is not it's not the right way. It's actually being it's you ask you come just be confident. Just you said that. Be confident in what you're at. If you know this is for you, this is the path you're on, this is what you would really love. And as long as you're like honoring that higher power, if you're honoring God, if you're honoring that higher power, you're going to start to receive those gifts. And it's not going to come overnight. It's not going to come right,
it's
show
not
up.
that it
But
can't,
not that they
it
can't,
can,
but I'm
but for
saying
most
for
of
most
us,
people, right? It takes time because it takes time for us to
yeah,
build that muscle, right? And
yeah,
and so I think that was such a brilliant comment you made. And I think people just need to understand you got to pray just a little bit differently
yeah,
and with more confidence, like
yeah,
a little more a surety in your prayer, and then go to gratitude and give up that the thanks for what has shown up, and
yeah,
making if you can do more of that. And that's why I think that works from the gratitude side, is that if you're
yeah,
continually focusing on all the good stuff that's happened, all the learnings you've had, even in the bad times, all the learnings that you've had, if you
yeah.
can really focus on that, you
Mhm.
create that result because it just continues to show up for you in that way. And that comes from that meditation or prayer or
Yeah,
conversation, whatever you want to, however you want to label it,
absolutely.
right? But it was such a
Yeah.
brilliant comment. I thought I just want to really highlight that.
Okay. Well, thank you. Glad it landed. And I suppose it's just the faith piece as well. For me anyway, it's kind of like that you're never on your own, right? And I think sometimes in times of challenge or difficulty or things just aren't happening fast enough, it can start you again, I think the human side of us, that the condition is to feel isolated and I must be doing something wrong, and other people can have it but I can't. And I think when we have faith in that power, and I'm changing my language around some of this at the moment because I think we're all one, right? And we are God, or God is us, or however we might, you know, put language around that. So I don't want it to feel kind of like that it's something, an entity or an energy that's separate to us. It's in us. It is us, and we're it. But when we're in this human form, we don't always experience it that way.
Yeah.
So again, I think Eckhart Tolle, I think, was the person who said that language is just signposts, right? And it can signpost us way off in the wrong direction, or it can signpost us to where we want it to take us. But the language here is it's very personal and it's very nuanced. And Gary and I are maybe using different words, and for you listening, you may have different words or you may resonate with some
Hmm.
of ours and not others. So really trust you have your own way with that and your own journey with that. And so long as it's making you feel good, you're on the right track,
Hmm.
is what I would say. And I don't think, that there's yeah, that capacity for us to trust that when it feels right, we're on the right track. It doesn't mean we're being indulgent or that it's lazy or whatever. That's actually how it's supposed to feel when we're living life to its fullest expression. It feels good. But we are in a world of polarity, like you said, the positive and the negative energetic charges, and we need them because if we only had the good, we wouldn't realize it was good. It would just be a thing. Whereas we know what's good because we experience what we call not good or sad or bad or whatever.
Hmm.
So that polarity is always going to be there. But as we live more and more into our awareness of our own creative potential and who we are and what's possible for us, it does start to feel easier because
Hmm.
then even when the bad times come and we get that, oh, I don't like this, it doesn't stay for so long because it's like, this is okay. This is for me, and I've got what it takes, and there's something for me to learn here. So the challenge is still there, but my perception of it and my attitude towards it and my experience of it is almost positive, easeful, good. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I'm hoping this lands.
Yeah. And I think if we were to give like a couple of tips of how to increase your ability to resonate with faith or how you increase your own faith in your own journey,
Yeah.
um, what would be something you would give us? It's three things you could give people that would increase their faith ability or the ability to connect that connection piece or whatever, however you want to word
Yeah.
that. But you know what I'm saying? What would be the three things?
Well, I mean, I think first of all would be just stating I believe whatever. Like I believe I am a child of God. I believe that life is always for me. So like, mm, and again, you mightn't believe them at the minute, but if you want to believe them, it starts with, having that clarity of what it is I would love to believe.
Hmm.
And then in Napoleon Hill's language, it would be that's auto suggestion, right? Having affirmations,
Hmm.
and then through the power of repetition, you automate those thoughts, and they become beliefs.
Hmm.
So it's like clarity of what I want to believe, and then repetition, 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 repetition.
Hmm.
And you asked me for three things, Gary. That's a big ask. So those are the first two: clarity, repetition. And the third, I would say, is that love is the answer to everything.
Hmm.
And I think another word for God or spirit or life or the universe is love.
Hmm.
And I am growing in my own belief that no matter what the question is, the answer is love. And
Hmm.
no matter what the problem is, the answer is love. And again, that doesn't mean, I'm always loving or get it right all the time. But when I reflect and when I pause and when I ask myself what would help here, every time love comes, it works.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I share it as something I believe to be true and that I do my best to
Right.
practice.
Awesome. Yeah, I think if I was to leave three, I think I am statements are fantastic. I think I would have to couple that with yours. I think that I believe, I am statements, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think just taking some time to be quiet with yourself and just
Mm.
listen to your thoughts. Um, and really listen, like really just sit down and be quiet. And the first few are going to be like probably your own moment. But as you sit in quiet or sit in meditation or something like that, those thoughts are going to start to change a little bit. And those are the messages you want to listen to because that's coming from a place of spirit. So those messages are critical, I think, to your developing and believing or creating more faith in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back to gratitude as an addition to the one, the auto suggestion and all that stuff, which is all super, super key, I think. But if you go back to the gratitude, you can create better auto suggestive moments by using some
Yeah.
gratitude and creating all of the things that you want to create. So, uh, you know, uh, that's six things really you guys can, take with you if it works. And, and, and just know that just know you guys are destined for something great because everybody on the planet is.
Yeah.
And we just have to believe it. We just have to believe that we have more in us and that greatness is going to have different levels and so just know that your path is your path and you're on the right spot, you're in the right place. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining this is a big topic. We could probably talk for another 30 minutes on this for
Yeah.
certain,
Yeah.
if not even longer, because there's so much here.
Yeah.
um Also, I want to bring up just a couple things administratively. If you noticed that episode 2 was a
Mhm.
bit challenging to get to. We had a little back end issue with episode 2. It should be up and running within the next 4 or 5 days, and available for viewing. So it's a really good one. If you haven't, didn't quite get that one, that's because we had an issue, we had a snafu. So we've worked that out.
We had faith.
We had faith it's gonna, and I worked it out. We worked it
I
out.
had
It's
faith
good.
in Gary.
We had it all worked out there. It's all good. Our next episode we're looking at seasons. So it's going to lead. So this faith we're going to roll right into the seasons and kind of what does it mean as things change and as we roll through seasons and that's going to be fantastic as well. Um, Maeve has some really cool workbooks or
Resources,
resources. I guess is
yeah, I
yeah,
guess I would call them.
yeah,
So it's become a tradition for me. So if you've been following us for a couple of years, you might have accessed this before, but each year I create a new workbook. This year I'm calling it a yearbook. And it's an opportunity to reflect on the year just gone and plan for the year coming up. But I absolutely love this year's one. I think it's my best yearbook yet. So we'll put the link in. You can download it. It's a fillable PDF, so you can work at it in your own pace. And there's some additional resources will come to you kind of a week or 2 weeks later just to help you keep moving through that process. Um, and then as part of that, or complementary to that, there's also a free masterclass on the 17th of December to wrap up your year. And we have a free masterclass on the 6th of January, which in Ireland, Gary, we celebrate as Women's Christmas.
nice,
So that is at 7 p.m. on the 6th. So, because it's a night that a lot of people go out. So we're having it nice and early so you can still go out afterwards if you would
nice,
like to. And that's to launch your new year and just, bring a sense of vision and anticipation and manage your energy as you go into that. So
fantastic.
lots there to support people. And I know you have something coming up in
Yeah,
February to keep
in
people going.
exactly February, Ignite and Inspire is an event we've been working on for a number of months now. And we also hit some roadblocks that was supposed to be happening and launched in November. And it just, it worked out in the way it worked out and it worked out in its perfect way. So I'm, once again, it's that faith piece that it was always going to work out the way it needed to work out. And we're uh, confirmed the date on the 21st of February coming up in 2026. It's going to be in Edmonton on the south side of Edmonton, just at a golf course. It's going to be a whole evening of inspirational speakers and music to enlighten people and lift people up and give people opportunity to sort of maybe decide for something a little bit new, a little bit different for that next year. And we're excited to have that. So it's going to be three powerful speakers, which is going to be fantastic and a great musicians as well. So if you're in the Edmonton area or feel like traveling to the Edmonton area for that, tickets will be launched very shortly. Probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll have tickets out and ready to go. And I'd love to see you there, as it's going to be a fantastic evening. So thanks again, you guys, for joining in. We appreciate you for with your patience, and we appreciate your grace when it comes to the technical stuff that we have on the go. And we appreciate that you're still here and listening to us because without you, we don't have a show. So thank you very much. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.